everyone, my name's Dean. Let's talk crypto. This is where you subscribe for daily Bitcoin updates and technical analysis. We track the rise of Bitcoin as a proxy for the cryptocurrency markets at large. Today is February 12th, 2025. And we're witnessing the first major move of Altseason 2025. I have no clue what the time frame of this alt season will be. If it's going to last a few months, if it's going to last well into 2026. So let's just say that from the get-go. I just know that right now we're in 2025, and this, based off of one major indication, is the first major move of Altseason 2025. If that all sounds interesting to you, then watch until the very end. As always, we're going to start off with Bitcoin and what it's doing in its price action. So watch until the very end to see all, or to figure out all of this with me. So let's start on the 4-hourly time frame today. Okay, and Bitcoin's still in the same situation that it was for the past, I don't know how many months, 2-3 months, okay, 3 months, yeah, almost 3 months now, that we've been under this parabolic resistance. It's 80 plus days, almost 90 days now, and more specifically, we've been in this channel for 40 plus days, almost 50 days now, and this move right here is the move we were analyzing, and we were saying, okay, we're likely in a zigzag, and we said the invalidation of this would be a break of the 0618, right? Because zigzags, as we know, one of three corrective patterns according to Elliott wave theory. Zigzags have the B wave maintaining the 0618 of the A wave, and we just barely did it. Okay, let me show you this on the smaller time frame, and obviously this is going to be different on different charts based off of the exchange, but on the chart I'm looking at, Binance, a massive exchange, and there's a reason I'm using Binance to chart Bitcoin. It's because it's one of the largest exchanges of the world, if not the largest exchange in the world. We barely stayed above the 0618 without invalidating a wick, so we just barely made it so that we didn't invalidate the 0618, and I'm going to show you why that is. So on the 4-hourly time frame, you can kind of see it, but you can really see it on the smaller time frames. But I just pulled the fibs here, and I pulled it from the bottom of this purported A wave right here all the way to the top, okay? And that's how you measure a corrective wave. And it's quite clear. I don't think there's any ambiguity in how to measure the A wave here. I think, you know, that's the bottom, that's the orthodox low, that's the orthodox top. That's how you would measure it. On the hourly time frame, just to make sure, we see the, let's see, sorry. On the hourly time frame, on the hourly time frame, we see the same thing. You know, that is the orthodox low right here. This is the bottom of the A wave. And then that is the top right here. Okay? And so we have this going, and if we measure it, we can see you literally, by like $1 or $2, just missed invalidating the 0618. Why? Because, and this is a trick I didn't know in the beginning of my trading career. I thought, and I was trading like this, I was trading in, because I studied a bit and I read certain things, and people said, oh, you know, this move has to hold, you know, the 0618, and I would measure to the dollar, and I'd put my stops right underneath the 0618, and if it came under the 0618, it got stopped out, and then it went back. I was like, wait, what gives? And then I learned about wicks, and, you know, I had to figure the hard way out about what constitutes an invalidation of a certain level. You know, can you wick beyond a level? Okay, what's that wick look like? So I've really delved into that subject and, you know, researched it quite extensively, and based off of all my experience, my years of trading and, studying, I use the 074, which is mathematically, in my experience, when the 0618 is conclusively invalidated. 074 just so happens to be, this is not a coincidence, by the way, the phi ratio in base 12, okay? And so I've seen, according to my experience, if ever the 074 is hit, we're going down to the 786 at the very least, because you're no longer in a zigzag, you're no longer in a wave 2, right? You're basically invalidating the 0618. So I don't know, who cares about this, but I'm saying it anyway because I think it's interesting. But you can see here the 074 was just barely missed here. We came down as low as we could possibly come down without hitting the 074. So to me, given that the 074 wasn't hit, this still, as low as it dipped, still constitutes a wick in my understanding of, chart analysis. And so the 0618 is still held, and this is still technically, based off of my understanding once more, a zigzag with an A wave here, B wave, that's a complex flat correction, which we expect, and now we expect a C wave, and that's exactly what we look to be getting on the small time frame at the very least. And so this is on its way to the top, and I don't expect it to stop. Okay, right now we're Wednesday afternoon. Typically, you don't see any major moves in Bitcoin on the weekends. So we have basically all of Wednesday, all of Thursday, all of Friday. I'm expecting for the commensurate moves in altcoins to also happen within that time frame. Okay, so the next 72 hours should be pivotal in altcoins as well, given that Bitcoin on Wednesday afternoon, Wednesday morning, whenever we bottomed, started moving in this C wave. And as we know, in a zigzag, right, it goes A, B, C. And so this C wave, right, is your impulsive pattern. Right? A is impulsive, B is corrective, but flat, and then C is again impulsive. All of this is a correction, so you could say A and C are also correctively impulsive. It doesn't matter, but you get my drift. C, basically, we're gonna huff our way up to this resistance here around 108, and so positive price action in Bitcoin means positive price action in altcoins, but we're about to experience, from what I'm seeing, major positive price action in altcoins, and we already have if you're paying attention. Other thing I need to mention is that today is special insofar as we're looking at lunar patterns and sort of the astrology of it all. I know it sounds weird, but there's rigorous research around the idea of full moon and new moon tops and bottoms, bottoms and tops, I should say, respectively, in financial markets, right? So new moons correlate, statistically speaking, right, with a ton of data across all kinds of financial markets around the world. New moons typically correlate with local market tops, full moons, local market bottoms. Today is the official full moon, and lo and behold, that represents local market bottom. You see it time and time again, right? We see bottoming in Bitcoin, bottoming in altcoins. So this is more likely than not to produce a move up, and just a continued move up. And what may happen is this: I don't know. Again, I don't know, but these lunar cycles go around 2 weeks, right? Because the lunar cycle lasts 28 days more or less. So 14 days is like going from a full moon to a new moon, and then back to a full moon. That's 28 days. So we're at a full moon here. To get to a new moon representing a local market top, you need 2 weeks. So will we take 2 weeks to go up here? I don't know. Will we go up here in the next few days and then hang out for so go up in 3 days, hang out for, I don't know, a week before making our massive dump down? I don't know. I have no idea how this is going to play out. All I know, based off of this analysis, is that we're going up now. So that's Bitcoin. Interesting, but not that interesting, because it's kind of doing what we said it would, and it's honestly nothing to write home about, given that you're just looking at a 10% move to the next logical resistance. Altcoins, however, are another story. Now, let's start the altcoin analysis with the Bitcoin dominance, because I did touch on that last episode, and I was talking about this triangle, right? And I was saying, this is interesting to me because it's quite clearly a bear flag to me, right? Where we have an impulse, redistribution, if you will, if you want to talk about it in Wyckoff terms. So basically a consolidation that follows an impulse, and basically the breakout is going to go in the same direction as the initial impulse. So that's what I'm looking at it as, and that's what it looks to be. Thus far, everything screams this is breaking down exactly how it should. So what am I talking about? So obviously see the triangle. Triangle broke, retested, and now the breakout or breakdown. Okay, so that's exactly what we expected, or what you should expect from any pattern. You break down or break up, you retest, and then the real breakdown comes. And like I said last episode, a breakdown or a breakout is not really significant unless you can see where it's going. Okay, you can see where the breakout's going or the breakdown's going. And the breakdown in this case has no support. That is exciting. That tells me that this is more likely than not the first massive move in Altseason 2025. And I mean, I'm not being dramatic in saying that, because if you look at the larger Bitcoin dominance chart, we've quite literally been going up without end since August of 2022. Okay, and before that, we'd just been going up and down from June of 2021. Okay, so June of 2021, we've pretty much gone up and down inconclusively, not one direction or another. It's just basic chop in Bitcoin dominance. And then from August of 22, it was pretty much non-stop up and to the right in Bitcoin dominance, meaning that Bitcoin was gaining against altcoins. If you're in Bitcoin, you're probably making some money. If not, you're not losing money. If you're in altcoins, you're more likely than not losing money. After this move should take us to the next logical support, which is around 49%. This should be the first major move of Altseason, this next Altseason. So on this chart, you can see 3 clear Altseasons. The first being in September or August of 17, or around here. I don't know. Yeah, in 2017. Let's just say 2017. The next being in 2020. And now this one finally playing out. And I think this one's going to be bigger than both of those for other reasons I'm not going to get into right now. But yeah, this is a big deal. This is a big deal. If indeed this breaks down all the way to the next logical support, I mean, that is major, and you can expect major gains in altcoins, and I do. Okay, so now before we go, let's look at the TOTAL3, right? The TOTAL3, I think, is appropriate to analyze as a proxy for the altcoin space in general, because at this point in time, although not all altcoins are at support, many are. Ethereum is, Cardano is, Litecoin is. Like, big market cap altcoins are on support and moving up, and then a lot of small cap altcoins are moving up. So it's not one of those things where people say Altseason where it's only one small sector, a few altcoins in a specific space on a specific chain are running. That's not Altseason. Altseason is clearly demarcated by that Bitcoin dominant chart breaking down. If that doesn't happen, there's no talk of Altseason. It's just random moves that happen here and there. Obviously, that happens given that we have millions of altcoins in the space. Now, looking at this chart, so TOTAL3 representing all the assets in cryptocurrency minus Bitcoin minus Ethereum, you can quite clearly see on the 4-hourly time frame that we're getting that move that we were talking about. We're getting that move that we said was likely happening based off of all the things that we saw in random charts. Well, not random charts, in various charts, I should say. Initial breakout, subsequent consolidation, and now the follow-up, basically a confirmation that this wasn't just a bounce, it's a trend. This isn't a bounce, it's now a trend. It's a new trend forming, going up. And if you look on the higher time frame, there's only one logical support. Again, breakouts don't mean anything, breakdowns don't mean anything until and unless you have a clear target. That target makes us bullish. I want that to be quite clear. Like, I'm not really crazy bullish. I didn't make a special thumbnail in last episode because I saw a breakout. You get breakouts every day in random assets. What's really interesting is that the breakout target is so high. The breakdown target for Bitcoin dominance is so low. That's what you should get excited about, because if this breakout, which is happening right now, continues to its logical conclusion, you should not experience or expect any major resistance until you get to this level right here, okay, around 3 trillion. Again, this analysis is quite simple. On the high time frames, you look at the TOTAL3 and you have a clear level of resistance, and that is demarcated by this dotted line. So you basically are free and clear when you break this channel, right? You're free and clear to go up as high as this and even wick above it. So that's at least 3 trillion. This is why you should be so excited to be in the altcoins that are breaking out, right? That are on support. I'll say that again because some aren't. Because you're looking at least a 3 to 4x, and that is an aggregate sort of calculation. A lot of altcoins will do a lot more than that. And, you know, those that are not on support will do a lot less. This is what's really exciting. You know, there have been many moves over the past years while we've been consolidating at large in crypto. But, you know, a move 5% here, 10% here, in the bear market, that's exciting. But to be honest, that's not going to do anything. That's not going to, you know, hit your targets, hit your goals. What's really exciting about this is that you're going up at minimum a few 100%. And that then should be followed up after retracement by, you know, similarly bullish price action after retracement. And we'll talk about the retracement another time. But I'm still excited. I'm still very, very, very pleased with this price action. Hope you are too. Guys, if you got value, please like, share, and subscribe. Consider buying me a coffee or tipping me. At the pinned comment below, you can see my Venmo, my Cash App, my Litecoin address, and you consider my crypto portfolio, mentorship, and consultation service. All can be seen at the pinned comment below. That's $150 per month, one-on-one with me, 1 to 2 hours. And we talk about how to balance your portfolio for up to 5 assets. Choose assets that are actually going to run it in the bull market, because they're not all going to run. There's tens of millions of assets in the cryptocurrency space. Not tens of millions, about 10 million, I think. And so you just have to be discerning about what to choose. And, you know, I help with entries, exits, you know, targets, all that stuff. So all at the pinned comment below. Hope this was helpful, this was useful, and I'll see you next time.
Could turn back, repeat the same story, or march forward and embrace change and reflect upon his glory. I'm a selfish man, therein lies the whole problem. Torn between my actions and the will of my heart. I had to take it all apart to see where I stood as a man, to depart from this world and leave it in his hands. Come on.
And it looks like I'm heading for the gold, y'all. Touring on a pothole road, y'all. I get it even if I didn't fit in, winning right up to the end, and like I didn't even know, y'all. I have Pop's genetics, working hard never to get it, like shit or better. Don't letting life get the best of my efforts. Instead I dedicated to bettering my steps, measuring investments, watch me do it to the death, y'all.